I remember a time where gamers were seen as the ultimate antisocial nerds. Spending their times in a dark room all the time, imagining you're a wizard casting a blaze spell level 3, and all these gamers, right, they seem to prefer pixels versus push-ups. The skinny guy who has pale skin, a white sheet of paper that didn't start dating girls till they were about 30 years old. Those were the gamers, But guess what? Those days are far behind us. Because if you look at it now, right, gamers are now regarded as rock stars. You look at the guys in the world of PUBG, right? You look at the guys who are playing Dota, making millions of ringgit, right? Gamers have crushed these stereotypes and they are rock stars now. They are the new superstars, right? And guess what? Today, I am fortunate enough to have one of those superstars with us. You've got Yana on the show. So what's up, Yana? How's it going?
Everything's going good.
All right. So, guys, welcome to another episode of Find the Real podcast, where I believe everyone has a story. Doesn't matter what you do for a living, what your background is. I believe everyone has a story, and my job is to find those interesting stories for your entertainment pleasure, as well as hopefully for you to get inspired and do better with your life. So, we've got Yana today, who goes by Absolute Yana, right? She is a streamer on Twitch, focusing on Animal Crossing, Genshin, right?
And also digital illustrations.
Digital illustrations as well. And she's also an owner of her own business. You do stationery.
Yes.
Under the Absolute Yana brand.
Yes, correct.
And we'll be talking about that today.
Yes.
I will talk a little bit about your background, how you got into streaming, and we'll talk about your stationery business. All right, so Yana, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you grew up, your background?
How I grew up. So I would say I spent 18 years staying with my grandma in PJ.
Oh, PJ girl lah. What's
yeah,
up? PJ represent.
I'm a full Selangorian. Is that a word? Is that a term?
I would accept lah, Selangorian. Boleh.
Through and through, got no kampong anywhere besides PJ.
Which part of PJ did you grow up in?
SS3.
Oh, SS3. I was SS1. Your neighbours, girl.
Are you sure? I feel like SS1, SS3, SS2 is all like very, very far apart. Like none of the numbers are next to each other.
Yes, it's true.
For some reason.
It's all over the place.
5 and 7 is the closest, and 6 is like God knows where.
Yes. You will only understand this if you're a PJ person.
Exactly. I just only spent like, I think 2 weeks ago, my mom asked me, actually, where is SS8? I'm like, Mommy, it's hard to explain because this is number 5, this is number 7. I don't know where 6 and 8.
And then I remember correctly, somehow or other, you ended up in something to do with creative arts. And I think you studied in Lim Kok Wing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
So tell us a little bit about that journey and how you got into the creative arts.
So if I were to rewind back, how did I decided to go to arts, being a pure science girl? It's just that there's one memory that really clicks in back when I was young. It was my aunt's birthday, and then I made for her actually a box with some stickers just to say happy birthday, but because I used those transparent wrapping papers, but they have like flowers on it.
Okay, yeah.
Certain kind of pattern.
Yes.
So when you wrap a box, empty box with it, it creates the shadow, so it creates extra dimension to your artwork. And when I created and gifted that, everybody was like throwing praises, like, "Oh my God, Yana!" So I was like, at that point of time, I was like, I think like art is definitely my thing, because my dad was he was a really good sketcher.
Oh, okay.
He could draw really well. And then my mom, she's a very good painter, watercoloring.
Oh, so there's a little bit of art in your family already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were always encouraged to be more like, I
Artsy.
think we were encouraged to be an all-rounder, like sportsy, being good in education and also in arts.
So I mean to the parents out there, I think that's amazing, because sometimes we tend to focus so much on the academic aspect of school, of life, when there's so much more into it, right? Sports, arts, apparently things that some people deem not necessary, but actually it's very important for your personal well-being, don't you think?
I think those are the one that helps to build your personality and how you engage with other people. Because people who lack the artistic side and lack the sports side in them, like the active side in them, they tend to be very shut in.
So as you can see, I got sports, I got arts. I'm not so shut in lah. Sometimes people tell me to shut up. That's the difference. So, all right. So here you are. You got into the whole art thing after wrapping that present for your auntie. Getting good feedback from your family. So you decided to pursue arts. So what did you study in Lim Kok Wing?
In Lim Kok Wing, I studied industrial design. But
Apa tu?
industrial design is like, basically, easiest way to put it is like you can work at IKEA. You can design IKEA stuff. You can work under, I don't know, I'm just throwing brands here, like any car brands. Like you can work to develop designs for them.
Got it. Industrial design.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the initial thing that we all signed up into. But I think over the years, they kind of like, I think they're trying to specify what are the courses. So instead of industrial design, where you can compromise, you can do cars, you can do product making, you can do furniture making, they kind of turned it into product making solely.
Okay.
So
like manufacturing?
Anything that falls under product making. So the manufacturing part, the designing part.
Got it.
So, but I feel like when you put it as industrial, it becomes like a huge hub.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
but
then
when
you're targeted.
when you say product design, it's like just you can only like pick and choose what products you want.
One of the other things I remember was you actually did some modeling work. You were doing a few motor shows, and you're doing cosplays as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So could you tell me a little bit about
It's all
that?
within that timeline. Those were the branching out moments.
Okay.
So I would have to backtrack to diploma actually, because in diploma, when I was staying with my housemate is the one that got me into cosplaying. Because they were all the cosplayers lah. They had like every year, I would say there's always this intense moment during September and October that everybody be grinding and making their stuff and whatnot. And then because I love product making, I like crafting. So that's how I fell into cosplay.
So you helped design the costumes?
We had to make the costumes, because the costumes we are already following the design already. So we had to like find cheap ways to make it look good. Okay, basically.
So tell us, I mean, to those who don't know, right? Tell us a little bit about what is cosplay and how's the cosplay industry in Malaysia?
I think after the 2 years of COVID, right, everybody's hungry for it.
Okay.
That's why this year, I think this year alone, there's like almost every month there's a cosplay convention somewhere. Whether small or big, there's always something going on somewhere.
Okay, so with cosplay, right? Like again, for me, my understanding of cosplay is dressing up like any fantasy character. It doesn't matter if it's an anime. It doesn't matter if it's the MCU, the Marvel Universe. It doesn't matter if you're a Star Trekkie or whatever. As long as you dress up as a fantasy character, that's cosplay, right?
Yes, correct. It's not even like fantasy alone. Like let's say if you love Kim Kardashian and you want to cosplay as Kim Kardashian, you can. Got it. The idea of cosplaying is to basically embody the role of a person that you feel like as an idol.
Okay. As an idol you admire.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to like play pretend for that a few hours of being them.
Alright. So you started by making these costumes.
Yeah.
And then how did you ended up putting the costume on yourself?
I liked how it looked like, and then when I tried a few weeks, and then I was like, maybe I should try this. Because actually it started off as, while I was helping my friend to work on that cosplay team project, they were lacking a few more people. So she actually asked me, like, Yana, do you want to cosplay as Luna Moonfang also, not from League of Legends, I believe? I believe lah.
Luna Moonfang,
yes.
I tell you, confirm.
So I was like, okay lah, like no harm, because I like to craft anyways, and it was like, we are just students by then, not working, not earning anything, so like why not, right? And then find ways to splurge money more. Those are one of the ways lah. Cosplaying, it does take out quite a huge amount of.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it does, because even if you're trying to craft things like with the most cheapo kind of materials, you still need to buy those materials. You still need to get.
And I'm assuming there's trial and error as well.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error, because if let's say you are 80% done with something, you screw up something, your cat jumps over, your dog jumps over, bites it or anything, you have to restart the whole thing.
So this sounds like it's happened before.
Yes, multiple times.
So when we talk about cosplaying, right? What's your favorite character that A, you've cosplayed, and B, that you've seen being cosplayed before? What's your favorite or best? You know,
the best one. Oh, that's so hard. Because this old fart here, even though I'm not as old as Amel, but still, not a decade behind, but still, I would say my recent favorite one was I saw someone cosplay Layla from Genshin Impact. She's a new character, and she has this very Arabic vibe to her, and she looks so dazzling. So when I saw the cosplay actually pulled off, it literally looks like she walked out of the game. So I was like, damn, I want you. That's awesome. It has that kind of vibe. In terms of, for me, personally, I think the one that I have to go with, the one that has the most impact, was Ada Wong. I don't even come for me. I did not play the game. I did not watch anything. If at all, I only watched like a few movies that came out in the cinemas. But Resident Evil Ada Wong really helped to push my image, because apparently when I had that short hair and her whole red cheongsam dress kind of thingy,
got it.
Really, like, a lot of people, like a fan club, Ada Wong fan club, actually noticed me on Instagram.
Like a global Ada fan walk.
Yeah,
oh,
a
nice,
global
dude,
one,
nice.
and then they like started sharing my pictures. I was like, oh, the recognition. I would say I wouldn't have a favorite, but the one that's most memorable was definitely Ada Wong's cosplay.
Got it. So we spoke about the whole cosplay thing, how you got into it. Then how about the modeling and motor show bit?
This one going to blow your mind. Because I actually went for I was freelancing at that time.
Okay.
So I was
as in doing events and stuff.
Yeah, doing events and stuff. So for that particular event, it was a New Year's Eve event. I was supposed to go as a flyer girl. I went there as a flyer girl. I went there. But then the team that was organizing it, apparently I think one of the girls pulled out last minute, so they were short on numbers. So instead of scouting around, they asked me whether I want to join, and I was like, what do I have to do? And then it's like, oh, you just have to wear, they gave me a tank top, a white tank top and a short pants. I was, a tank top and a short pants. I was like, okay lah. So I just put it on, and I was not thinking anything, because I know for the fact that I'm just like a replacement for the numbers. But then when I had to do the whole, like, catwalk kind of thing, somehow or other I ended up winning the title for that night. The motorsport game.
You were the califer. You were the extra that they found on the side of the road.
Yes.
And just to make up the numbers you joined. And then you won this competition. So what was it? It was like a modeling competition.
Yeah, it was actually like I think like different car organizations, like the car groups.
Got it.
Different car groups, they tend to hold like this kind of motor queen sport events every now and then. So they always try to find someone that can be the face for the whole year. So that was the competition about.
So then you became the face of a brand.
Yeah.
What brand is that?
The face of the brand that I ended up with was, don't kill me, Tom Stickers.
Oh, Tom Stickers is huge, dude. If you're a car enthusiast, you want to wrap your car or whatever, you know Tom Stickers, right? So you were the face for Tom Stickers for
1.5 years, I believe.
Okay.
I wouldn't say like an official ambassador, but I was definitely one of the ambassadors.
Got it.
Not the official one.
Okay.
That would probably be a different level, but
Any interesting stories while you were doing this motor show modeling and things like that? Anything interesting?
Oh, I appreciate people who actually model more once I started modeling because people always think it's like just pretty face, nice body. I'm like, y'all have no idea how it frustrates a girl, especially a woman, when she's stressed by her own daily stuff and then pimples start popping up, but you have events, you're stressing, your body doesn't listen to you, you go for workouts and whatnot, you can't eat what you want to eat because there's an event, and it's so frustrating. There's so much of struggles, especially if you're not really blessed with like good metabolism. So you really have to like really keep up. So I would say throughout that whole experience, I definitely look up to models a lot more because it looks easy, but trying to contour your body into shapes that looks nice for the pictures, not nice for you when you go and see your doctors. But but you know, it's a whole. I have to have you to just pose for 5 minutes with high heels. You will definitely immediately understand.
Yeah, I mean, for me to even wear high heels, I don't think they make high heels size 10 lah. You know,
They do.
They do.
Most of the girls are okay. I'm actually below average model height.
Okay.
I'm 160 cm. There you go, Yana, showing your weakness. But apparently, in the industry,
Like Malaysia lah.
Yeah, in Malaysia, you have to be at least a minimum of 165.
Oh, okay.
So I had the blessing of visually I look taller because I have a short torso, but I have longer legs.
Okay.
So visually, everybody thought I was 165, 168, 170. But when they saw me in real life, wow, you're this short?
So you managed to pull this ruse for the past 10 years. Well done. Lah. So that's the secret, guys. Just make your legs longer. Okay, so there you have it. You know, you had a little bit of a cosplay story over there. Then you started this whole modeling motor show career, being the face of Tom Stickers. That's awesome, right? And what I like is the fact that I mean, better appreciation of what they do. Again, everyone always thinks it's so simple, but it's not. I mean, I've seen it as well. Like again, when my wife watches America's Next Top Model and I happen to watch beside her, and you're right, the way they move that pose, right? I mean, it's so difficult. And the pictures that come out in the end, like when I look at it as just a normal person who's not in the industry, I'm like, wow, how is it that a talent or a model or a person can actually help promote that brand or put that brand in focus? Because I can't remember which episode it was. They were promoting Subaru, Asia's Next Top Model, and the fact that they managed to promote the car, like the focus is on the car and not the model. I mean, as a brand marketer, that's what you want, and they can do that, and I think that's amazing.
It just adds on aesthetic, basically, without taking the main focus off.
So at that point in time, what did you find? I mean, you already explained the biggest challenge of being a model, right? You know, going through that stress, the pimple popping out, watching what you eat. But what were the fun things about being a model? What did you enjoy about it?
The fun things was actually developing my personality because I'm not a full shut in, but I have my own bubble that I like to live in lah.
Like the video gamer lah, you know, in the room play.
I like to be in my own bubble, but when I had to like interact with people, because like majority of the time you meet really nice people and same mind like kind of people.
Okay.
But there are times when you have to maneuver yourself in between people who are quite difficult to deal with, both physically and mentally.
So this goes on to a question, might be a little sensitive, right? So whilst you're doing this modeling thing, right, you were wearing outfits that maybe could be a little revealing, right?
Correct.
How did you navigate both maybe family and friends' perceptions, and also those people with their hands a little bit all over the place? Like how do you manage those situations?
For family, I would say it's because my parents actually supported me to just try things out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they never stopped me, but they always had kept me in line where just say mind of how you are dressing yourself. So whatever you do is okay, but just mind yourself, like what kind of image you're projecting. So being in that kind of family background, I've made sure to know how much I can expose without exposing unnecessarily.
Got it.
Like
you know where the line is drawn.
I know where
right?
the line is. So it's like certain things, it just looks like tube tank and like maybe there's a few cuts here and there. Like those are fine if I wear, because I come from a mixed family. I am Muslim, but I'm a Chindian through and through a Chindian. So I think with the cuts and whatnot, right, it just looks like I'm wearing sari. It's just minus the dupatta part. So it's just like that. And then when it's very like skin hugging or body hugging, I would say, it just feels like I'm wearing a cheongsam, but a much shorter version. So that's where I put my line. The moment I feel like, oh, if I move a bit and it's going to pop, anything's going to pop out, means that's not for me. That's the line right there. So if I feel uncomfortable, even I've rejected a few outfits or so. So yeah, so that's how I maneuver myself in between this. In terms of the hands touchy one, I think because here's the thing, everywhere that I go, somehow or other, I'm always the punakuti. Do you know what's a punakuti?
Small?
Cat.
Cat, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Everywhere people treat me like a small cat for some reason one. So I always like, whenever I go somewhere, when I meet people, when I'm always conversing with them, somehow they become like my uncles, my big brothers.
The protector lah.
Yeah, all my, like they always, like they know how much of a line that I'm willing to cross and how much,
okay, perfect.
yeah, what kind of boundaries there is. So when they see other people trying their luck,
they will be there to step in to protect.
Yeah, they immediately create that barrier for me.
So that's amazing. I mean, you had good family support. They were supportive of what you were doing. You personally knew where the line was in terms of how you dressed, and you had people protecting you along the journey with all these handsy fellas lah.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you did the cosplay thing, you did the modeling thing, and then now let's talk a little bit about streaming and your business. We'll start with the whole streaming bit. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into streaming and what are the things that you're streaming,
Okay. So I actually got into streaming because of Animal Crossing. Because I was playing Animal Crossing, but the thing is, in Facebook there's a few community groups where you like share what you have done on your island and stuff like that. And there was two people that I met in the group. They were very encouraging because they really loved how I designed the islands, because like there's the basic island builders and there's like the one who takes it one more level up.
So what level are you? Are you basic or the one level
up one? I cannot go basic. Like the moment I knew that you can terraform your island, you can make your own designs into the island, I was all out, going all out with it. So when I shared those pictures in the community, two of them became my friends.
Okay.
And then both of them, completely separate people, they don't even know each other. They both of them at the same time were encouraging me to, Yana, please go and start streaming and stream Animal Crossing to show people how you build, because before I was streaming, I was actually helping them build their island. I was trying to guide them, like, oh, you can do this, if you knock this down, you knock that down, this is what you can get. They were very appreciative of that effort. They said, Yana, you can help so much more people, so try to stream. So because of that, I got into streaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this streaming journey. So you started streaming. So when you stream, right? So basically, I think explain a little bit like what is streaming, what the streaming setup is, and more importantly for everyone out there, how can you make money streaming, can?
This one really depends on your luck lah. Your luck and your personality. That last question, I will leave it for the last one. What is streaming?
Okay.
For me, I feel like streaming is a platform where you can leverage on either sharing your skills or just being a helpful person for me. Because those two are the things that I'm like, those are my views when I'm streaming. Of course, there are people who use streaming for like how do I say this?
For other reasons, to link to their OnlyFans maybe.
Yeah, probably. But they definitely make a lot of money. They definitely make a lot of money.
Definitely.
Good for them, but suck for us. But anyways,
there's this famous one, Anura.
Oh, thank God I don't know her.
Okay. I mean, I also don't know.
How did you? You knew the name.
I saw on Facebook, but yeah. So I'm a gamer, like pretty hardcore. Like I play things on my Steam Deck. I do a lot of retro gaming on retro handheld devices. But recently I got into Diablo 4. You know, I've been playing it for the better part of a few weeks. You know, saw that not someone never silent the phone. That's me. Okay, for the better part of a few weeks, and I enjoy the game very much. But I don't actually watch streamers. What I do is I just go to YouTube. I'm like, okay, how do I level up my barbarian? You know, what are the builds for late game barbarian? So, like, how is that different from someone who's streaming?
I would say when a person streams, you get to follow along with the journey rather than you just trying to like Google things up and how do I get to A to B as fast as I can. Rather than that, it's more like enjoying the process together with someone else, reaching from point A to B.
Okay, so it's a journey. You're going to that journey.
Yeah.
Because I realize one thing, right? Like, I think when people have more responsibilities in their life, maybe they got no time to play the games, so they actually watch a streamer to follow the streamers. Okay, now I get it.
Sometimes, like a lot of people, you wouldn't believe me, a lot of people who watch my streams, right, they actually do not play Animal Crossing, but they just like to watch me play it, like build stuff.
Okay, I'll be honest, Animal Crossing for me is not the most interesting thing. You know, as you can see,
it's therapeutic. It's actually very chilling. So like there are people who want to be there for like, oh, how I want to create big numbers. Like that's what I get when I'm playing Genshin. So people are like striving like, oh, how did you build her? Like I want to build her like this also. Like, oh, I want to build her better.
As in how did you build the character with the stats?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's different people. Like it depends on what you want to achieve from watching a streamer. Like if you just want to chill, like you're just there for the vibes. Some people don't even play any game, but they're just there for the vibes.
Okay, they just want to chill.
Yeah, they just want to chill. So sometimes it's just connection. If you just click, you just click. It doesn't matter what you play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So streaming not only like constricts itself to gaming. I say it's just a way, like it's a whole journey, like just to follow along someone in that journey.
Okay. I get you. Especially if you start that journey with a level 1 character or someone who's just building something small. How did they end up building it to that level? Okay. Now I get it. It's about following that journey of that person. So for you as a streamer, all right, now we go to the second part, right? So you spoke about your journey in streaming, what you stream, why do people follow streamers? So you're streaming a Nintendo Switch, right? Animal Crossing is on Switch, and then Genshin, you're playing it on PC.
Yes, correct.
Right. So what kind of gear do you use as a streamer? What's the basic gear that you need to have?
Okay, so for anything that's like Switch based, you definitely need a dock. When you have when you have a dock, you definitely need a capture card.
Because it'd be weird, right? I'm holding the handheld and then I'm trying to look at top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but there's also people who like when they first started, they actually tried to use their phone camera to capture what you're playing. Yes. So that's where I started. Also.
Okay.
But quickly I figured that I move too much. I get excited too fast that the screen just like it doesn't stay. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out a way to like get this on screen without people actually seeing me like pressing the button and stuff like that.
Got it.
And then don't ask me how I did it now, but there's a lot of YouTube tutorials.
Okay,
got
it.
I didn't have a capture card. So there's a way where you can use your second laptop or PC or whatever. I had an old laptop and I had my own working laptop. So I use my working laptop for like OBS and stuff like that. And then I use my second laptop, my old laptop, the screen doesn't work. So it's basically just helping. It's just helping to become a screen without actually seeing anything to project so that OBS can capture it. Got it.
And OBS is a software that you use for streaming, right?
Okay. I think majority of streamers use OBS.
Okay.
I would say 90% most likely.
Is it free?
Free.
Okay, that's the most important one.
It's free.
All right.
And you can customize it according to however you want. Like you can really add your own style to it. So I think that's the whole reason why 90% of people who are streaming use OBS.
All right.
Yeah. So I started off from that setup.
Okay.
Wires everywhere, super messy. Now also wires everywhere, super messy. But that's a me thing, not a setup thing. And then I think just 3 months into it. 3 months or probably actually no, a month. A month into it, because of the feedback that I kept getting from people, and people were being very supportive, knowing that you're first time streaming and stuff like that. They were very generous. Plus that time it was COVID, everybody had nothing else better to do but to watch people on stream. So that time I was making quite a lot of income.
Okay,
time.
so that's the interesting question. How do you make money as a streamer? Like, is it through like advertising, or how do you guys make money actually?
Some people use some people use ads.
Okay.
So in between your streams they play ads.
Okay.
So you get money via that way.
Okay.
But I don't like that, because I myself don't like watching streamers that have ads constantly popping up.
That's why I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't want the ads.
Same. I was like, I cannot, and it's the same ad. I swear there's so many brands in the world, but for some reason there's always that 2 brands, at worst that 1 brand that keeps replaying after every single song or video, which I really hate.
Which you won't mention the brand, I assume.
Yeah, I won't mention. But it was so annoying that I understood from day one that I'm not going to put ads.
Okay.
So at best, there's only like, because I'm on Twitch, right? So there's only like 2 options. Either you have ads running every half an hour or something like that.
Okay.
Or you have 1 ad play before the person can join your stream. Because if you're a follower, I believe you're a follower, you still see the ad at the beginning. And if you're a newcomer, you see the ad. But if you're a sub, you don't see the ad.
Okay, got it.
So how we earn money is via people donating the bits.
Oh, okay.
Like, so that's a currency that people will like just like donate to you.
Okay. It's like the Facebook stars kind of thing.
Yes, correct. So it's,
got it.
Facebook is Facebook stars. Twitch is bits.
Bits. Okay.
Bits. So that's where I generate most of my income during that 2 years lah.
Okay.
So a lot of people was also subscribing to the channel, so that's where also you can earn. Plus, there's a lot of things where you can add plugins and whatnot. Like, people can just directly donate to you if they really like you and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's also options of how you can earn lah as a streamer.
Okay, so it's either through advertising or through bits that people who like your content donate, right?
This is like for mini-size streamers. Mini-size streamers for me, like me. But if you're a bigger streamer, that's when you earn more, because brands will pick you out, because brands want faces.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when brands pick you out of your streams, and then you have to like do like you have to do manual ads for them, shout outs as what we call it, and then that's how you earn extra income as well as a streamer.
Have you been picked up by any brands yet?
I have once or twice, but I did turn them down because it wasn't aligned with what I'm sharing with my community. Like,
okay, got it.
Because a lot of people, there's 2 kinds of streamers, I believe. Probably there's more, but there's 2 kinds that I strongly believe in. One that wants to build their community for whatever reason lah. They want to build their community. The other one is purely just to advertise themselves.
Got it. One is commercial to make the money. Which part of the streamer do you fall in? The community building or the one that wants to make the money?
I am definitely more on the community one.
Got it.
But I will be honest, and this one my community knows, that the reason why I'm building this community is because I want people to know about my brand more.
The Absolute Yana brand.
The Absolute Yana brand, my stationery making and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So I want to take them on the journey to see from where I started, and if you really like me, you like my products, you like my designs, you can support.
Okay.
Like it's a long-term advertisement, basically.
Got it. Yeah. You are building your personal brand, which then you bring people to that journey of not just your stationaries, maybe moving forward, whatever else the Absolute Yana stands for, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing when it comes to streaming. I'm going to talk a sensitive topic.
Can.
Okay.
Bring it.
So here's the thing. People always say, Allah, people watch the stream because she's a girl playing games. Allah. If the same guy playing the game, the skill 10 times better, no one's going to watch him, So what's your comments about it? Because I always see, especially girl gamers or female streamers getting this kind of flack. But I've seen, right, again, because I play Diablo 4, right, and I've seen some, girl gamers who are level 100, full legendary weaponry, and I'm like, they played the game, they know how it works. So what is your comment on that kind of stigma that girl gamers normally have?
I will boil it down to the people who are actually watching that streamer in the first place. Why are you watching that streamer in the first place? Like for me, my community watches me because they like to see how I design and create stuff. But if the person viewing it basically just wants to see female bodies on screen, then they are the problem. And these are exactly the people who are actually bringing that stigma out. They are the one that's saying it, but
because
they are the one that's
driving
creating it.
They're driving it. Yeah.
So I would say because there's a lot of times when I've also seen girl streamers who really knock it out of the park in Apex Legends and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't do what you do. So I'm just doing my designing part of stuff. But people do follow them.
Yeah.
People really. So that's why I said it really boils down to the viewers at the end of the day. That stigma arises from the viewers themselves.
So I think people need to acknowledge if he or she has game, respect the game.
Yeah.
If they've got it, they've got it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's just bonus points that they're appealing.
Okay. It's just bonus points. So that's where you send your beats to.
Yeah.
So you're talking about building a community, right? So I'm assuming when it comes to the world of streaming, there's a lot of engagement that happens between you and your fans. So bring us to your process of, how do you build your Absolute Yana brand and how do you approach engaging your community and your fans?
I actually always put my brand second.
Oh, okay.
Community first. So I always do, they always encourage to do oh, Yana, let's do something fun today. So instead of seeing that whether it's going to benefit me or not, I just do it. Because at the end of the day, if the community is not there, then no one's supporting the brand. So what's the point, right? So how I promote the brand is very subtly. I just let the name be there. Because for the past 2 decades now. A decade. Sorry, a decade. I'm only 32.
So old, this one. 2 decades.
What do you call that? So basically, since I started blogging when I was in diploma, when I started cosplaying, all that timeline all crashes in down to one point. I actually started the blog with Absolute Yana.
So that was your personal brand that you've built.
Yeah. So ever since then, I've been using the name. Although as you grow older, you kind of see that the name may sound vain, but at the same time, it just clicks, it just clicks because Absolute Vodka was a thing. So people might people might think oh, Absolute Yana, Absolute Vodka is easy to remember because it's very similar to something else.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I managed to now I'm at a point, okay, when I started, sorry, I have to backtrack a bit. When I first started, I was definitely putting the brand out there. I had to make sure that the brand is there because algorithm worked differently back then. But then now, I'm at the stage where if you go and Google Absolute Yana, I'm pretty sure the first 3 scrolls is all anything that's related to me.
Okay.
Anything related to the brand, to my products, to my face, everything. So, and the first the screen where the info, the websites and whatnot, it should be all mine. It should be unless someone wants to go in Sailang, then I don't know
No, so you've built this for about a decade, right? And it's not just through your blog how you started. It's through the streaming and through the business as well. So now when it comes to streaming, right? What do you think is the biggest challenge that you've gone through, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I think this one is a constant challenge.
Okay.
There are going to be days where you won't see the numbers that you usually see. And then you start to wonder, am I doing something wrong?
The self-doubt.
Yeah, the self-doubt. Because this is exactly what happened 3 days ago.
Okay.
It just before the podcast started, I was sharing with Amil how I was like feeling down and stuff like that. But it was during the stream, because usually I still have a very average, like a small number of people that consistently watches.
Okay.
So it averages around 10 people for every stream. But I think it was just those low moments where people were like busy doing stuff and they're not in there with me. So it took like half an hour before people came in. So within that half an hour, that's when all the self-doubt actually kicks in.
Got it.
So I think that part of streaming is hard because it's a constant thing. Because sometimes you see like, wow, today I have 30 people watching me. That's so great and whatnot. And then when you come to days where it's like, I'm 10 minutes in, but there's no one here yet. It makes you feel like...
You question yourself.
Yeah, you question yourself. Did something happen? Like, is my timing off? Like, am I doing something not right? And then you start to think of whether the technical issues are being a problem. But it's a whole pile-up that you have to, like, deal with as you stream. I don't think there's a solution for it. Unless you're really, like, full-on, like... Oh, I am satisfied with myself as long as I stream. I don't care what the numbers are, which is a very hard point to reach.
Got it.
I'm also trying to reach that point, but it's very hard to reach.
So there are these moments that happens to not just you assume other streamers as well.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I mean, keep your chin up. I think the fact that I think consistent content is important.
Yes.
And making sure that the content is interesting enough.
Very true. Because there's also times where you will feel like, because some people, they get inspired by you, and then they will also like want to try streaming and stuff like that. And of course we full on, okay, there's probably a spectrum where some people are like, why are you doing it? Why are you taking my thunder? And then there's the other spectrum, like me, that is like, go ahead, try it, because you never know. If it's your thing, it's your thing.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, if it's your thing, then why not? Try lah. But a lot of people along the way, they've tried it, but there are few people that came back and said, Yana, actually, how do you do it? I don't get it. Like, how? It's so tiring because people think like, oh, I'm just playing games. This is when, okay, this one is like a command, this one gossip, TTT. So
Spill the tea, girl.
Because my mom, when she doesn't know how to explain to people, so she will just say, oh, she's playing games lah. So I take it slightly on the offensive side because as much as I am playing, but my main duty is to actually entertain the people who are watching me play.
Yes.
It's not easy to like try to kill a monster and also having great commentary and also like keeping up with whatever other people has to say.
The chats and stuff.
It takes off a lot of your mental energy, and for some reason I feel like your aura also gets like sucked in. And even more so if you're invested in your community. So it's like it's very hard to how do I say this?
Yeah, so no. So
this is how I feel like it's always like it all clashes in one, that feeling. So you always get.
So it's always that stigma and assumption that you're just playing games when that's not the case. I think your words is perfect. You're building a community and you're engaging with the community. I just happen to be playing games. I'm playing a content that someone wants to watch, right? But my main duty is A, entertaining these people.
Yes.
B, building the community.
Yes.
And in this case, I assume building the absolute Yana brand.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
I should be your PR person lah.
Yes.
Can.
Free of charge can.
That one we talk at the side lah. Because you said something like why did I start a podcast? And it's the same thing. I was watching podcasts. I mean, I was listening to podcasts, and because I love basketball, I love NBA. So there's this podcast that I watch. It's called The Steam Room, right? It's by this famous guy called Charles Barkley. He's a famous basketball guy, right? And I fell in love with the way the content was being done, and I was like, hey, let me try this out, right? And here you go, and here I am. X number of episodes in, right? So and I absolutely love doing this. So
and you're doing a great job at it.
Oh, thank you. Abang bagi 1 star. What's the word? Beats. Aku bagi beats. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the stationery business. Yeah. So tell me about the Absolute Yana stationery business. What is it that you do, and how did you get into it?
Okay, so this one is a bit of a personal journey.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's gonna get heavy, guys. So you might need
Deep,
tissues
deep.
if you are easily affected. So before COVID started, right? That year, so COVID started in 2020, correct?
Yep.
So 2019, July, August, we actually found out that my father had been diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, so my father being the breadwinner of the family and mother literally just retired. So he's literally like carrying us all at this point, and I'm working. But my sister, because she just gave birth, so she's a housewife at that point. So I think when that news hit, right, the best part is my father doesn't smoke, my father doesn't drink, doesn't do any of the thing, and he got it. So when that kind of reality sits in, it kind of takes a toll on, it took a toll on me, my mental capacity mostly. So I was like, always like doubting myself, like I was stressing myself, like can I become the daughter that can support my father or not? And that weighed a lot of, that came in like a huge bulldozer to my brains lah and my heart lah.
Got it.
So I think because of all that stress piling up, I was working at an event company at that time. I think it was the stress from the work, stress from this family reality, and then one day one weekend there was 21st birthday in my event space, and then coincidentally my cousin brother who came up from Singapore also was celebrating his birthday. I already promised his mom that I'm gonna come, so I was like, I told her I'll come, but I'll come late because this party is going to go up to 11, so I only can come after 11. Then he's like, yeah, can, sure. So I think I was just too tired, and on the way to my aunt's house, I actually crashed.
Oh no!
Yeah, I actually crashed. I'm still using the same car, but the car basically saved me because if the car didn't hook its back tire to the big drain, I would have turtled.
OMG. I did not know this story, dude.
Yeah, turtled and go onto the highway.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could have not been here if my car didn't catch the drain. So when that happened, right, when I was brought back, because my uncle came to pick me up, and then when I got back to my uncle's house, my father is the type here, he's very cool, he's very poised in a way lah. But he was the first one, despite being ill, he came running first, and I could see tears in his eyes.
Of course, dude.
And I'm like, that at that point I was like bashing myself. I was thinking like, Yana, what kind of daughter are you? Like creating more stress for your dad. And that basically put me out of the mental state where I'm able to work. I couldn't work.
It helped
already.
you with the hustle.
Yeah. So that one, it helped me to work on my own hustle, but I knew I couldn't function for other people. I was not in that mental capacity to manage my team, because that time I was
doing the events.
The manager. I was a manager for the small company. So we were still, it was only 5 of us. 2 bosses, 1 me and 2 more downlines. That's it. So just to manage those 2 people also, I was struggling because my brain was not there. My brain and my heart wasn't there. So I was very thankful that I got to speak one-on-one, actually 1 to 2, to my both bosses at the same time. I told them that I really cannot, and I don't want to bring the company down either, because events are meant to celebrate other people's things, and I don't want me who cannot even celebrate her life to be doing this. So then after that, they let me off. And then I told myself I'm going to take a month off. And this time my father doesn't know anything. My mom and my sister knew, but not my father. And then after that, I told myself, like after a 1 month's break, I was like, okay, Yana, maybe try to do your own thing. Because you like arts, you like stationery, just combine and do something. So I tried for that 2 years when COVID hit. That's when also I was actively streaming and I was actively trying to design stuff. But it was very difficult. Like even streaming was not consistent because there was a lot of trips. Everybody else had a lockdown, but I had to drive every single day to the hospital because of my father's appointment. So I couldn't relate to people who was constantly saying, I'm stuck at home. I'm like, no, I'm not stuck at home. I'm constantly driving. But you know, it was a lot of downs rather than ups.
Got it.
During that whole 2 years. So it was very hard to pick up momentum for my business. So last year, I was like, Yana, you got to stop this. You really have to push yourself because even your own life savings is just draining and you're not earning anything. And like, I'm already married. Like how is this going to play if I don't push myself, if I'm constantly just beating up myself and Yana, you could have done this as a daughter. Father's not here already. It's not going to help pondering on the what could happen if you did it better this way, that way. It's like it doesn't matter. So I had to find that thing to kick myself in my own butt to actually like to do the push. To basically to push through. And then last year in November or October was when I started to really like
go all
prep
out.
To go all out, prep and whatnot because 2022, beginning of 2022 was when the 2 floods hit us, correct?
Yes.
This one Amel knows.
Yeah, so at one point in time, I was a small flood victim, but Yana, on the other hand, suffered a flood twice.
So the thing is, it was really demotivating because
I can imagine.
Just before that first flood happened, I just came up with because we were celebrating our 1 year of anniversary of streaming. So I just came up with a whole collection, like sticker memo pads and sticker sheets.
Okay.
For the community. So like whoever that wanted to buy can buy those kind of stuff, you know. So I had like one box. Of course, like you have to be budget a bit, right? So I just have one box filled with a lot of stuff, and I also bought like notebooks so that I can like draw on the covers and also sell those. So it's like basically you're getting a book but with my art kind of thing. And when the flood hit, it wiped out all. And I just spent that little budget that I had to actually produce that. So it took 1 whole month to clean the house. So I couldn't even focus on
the streaming.
No streaming, no branding, no nothing. For that 1 whole month, it was just purely just cleaning the house. Because you think you cleaned up everything, and then when you go to one room, you open all your drawers, it's a whole different story. And that lasted for 1 month. After that 1 month of cleanup, it didn't even reach a week. We were hit by the second flood. Like we finished cleaning the house on a Friday evening. That Monday morning, rather Monday 3 o'clock, flood came again. And this time, it wasn't the items that I have made. It was the items that I used to make stuff. So my printers, my printers, my laminators, all were out.
I mean, when you hear this story, right, it's just so sedih, you know. I mean, to get the flood once, right, and after cleaning up to get it again, it's like wow, you know.
At that point, it was more frustration on the cleaning part. Because it was just so taxing to actually go and clean.
Yeah, I can imagine, you know.
So it was really like more of a down rather than up and down kind of vibe. I would say the only thing that was the up vibe was actually getting married.
Hey,
to
look.
be honest.
Hey, thanks for marrying her.
To be honest, because just before that was when my father passed away.
Yeah, I remember.
So he only managed to battle it for 1 year. Then after that, with his age and the chemo, the 3rd session of the chemo was just too much for his body already. So even after that, I told my now husband that we at least let it go for 1 year first, because I know I'm not mentally, or even my heart is not ready to like just go into the next chapter in life. So he waited out, and then itu flood come and hit. And then I was like, and then in between all of this cleaning up, I had to go and like prep for doing the wedding stuff, had to get the documents and whatnot. It's like even though it was frustrating getting the documents part ready, but the wedding part was the one that when it was official, I felt very supported.
Yeah, yeah. Your
Because I had
family was
nothing.
there, your friends were there.
Yeah, because I had nothing with me, but yet he's still like, it's okay, I'm still marrying you. So I was like, okay, good choice. I swipe on the right person then.
Hey, hey, this is a swipe story lah.
Yeah, it's a swipe story.
Okay, I mean just hearing that story, right? I mean, just to see how you managed to realize that, hey, I got to get out of my funk. You know, I got to just like, you know, go out there and start building the brand. And then just when you started, the flood came, right? And
again.
And it just, I would assume that would be devastating for you. But how did you rise after that?
I think it's probably because something that both my parents have instilled in us. No matter how bad things go, just keep going. No matter how bad it is. So I think that part of me is like, I don't want to fail my parents. Doesn't matter whether they are still alive or they're not alive. I don't want to create that disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're raised right lah. Because end of the day, it's the same thing here. I think as a son, you know, as a child, that's the one thing you don't want to do is to disappoint your parents. You know, and yeah, I think you put it perfectly. So on to the stationery part of it, right? So here you are, you know, rising from the ashes like a phoenix, you know, after 2 floods, right? After going through the difficulty of your dad as well, right? Here you are rising again and building this stationery empire, you know. All right, so tell us a little bit about the business, like, you know, what are the products that you're selling, you know, and how do you go about the process of like designing your products?
Okay. So in terms of the products that I sell products based on a system that I have come to like, which is bullet journaling.
Okay, what's bullet journaling?
So bullet journaling is basically a combination of your diary plus planner, but it's customized to you. So whatever that you do in there is catered to your lifestyle. There's no like, there's no like specific. I was told not to hit the table.
It's okay.
What do you call that? There's no like guideline of like, it must be this for this day. You really cater it because not everybody is the same. Like you and me probably have a totally different schedule. So that system leverages on that kind of lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that kind of difference, I would say. So I was doing it since 2020, but then things, because of all the hecticness, I couldn't commit to it anymore because it's a commitment. You have to basically you have to cater a portion of your day to actually set up how you want your month to be.
Yes.
So that takes a lot of time, and because of all the chaos that was happening, I could not do it anymore. So I was telling myself, Yana, you need instant bullet journaling. Like how people need instant ramen in their life. So I was like, why don't you make, because you can design, why don't you make instant bullet journaling a thing? So that's how I that's how I got the second kickstart to work on my stationery line. So I create memo pads or notepads, and then I create bookmarks, and then for side accessories, for people who like to collect stationeries, right? They love to collect side accessories. So there's
what are side accessories?
Keychains, like things that you don't really like need to use for stationery purposes. So like even bookmarks, like how many books do you have that you can actually collect a whole collection of bookmarks, right? But there are some people who really have like a whole collection of books and they do read everything. I don't know how they organize their brains, but they do it, and they need a lot of bookmarks. So there's bookmarks, keychains, like paper clips, those kind of stuff. So that's the thing. Either
so that's the products that you craft.
Yeah, either I craft or I design and print them out. Yeah.
Okay, so bring us through the designing process. Like, you know, how do you come up with a theme? Because I realized when I went to the sites, you've got like series and themes. Yes. So how do you come up with those?
So I think the first way to answer this is that probably should introduce you to Nanabees. Nanabees is basically a brand name that I came up with, combining my name and also my community's name. So my community is called Boopies because we boop each other's nose, kind of thing. I'm a cat person lah, okay?
What did you say just now? The cat, the sinner what? Small cat, how you say just now?
Punakutti.
Punakutti.
So I'm living up to my name lah, basically. And then so boobies plus together with Yana, but a lot of people call me Nana as well. So that's where the Nana Bees come from. So Nana Bees is actually based off my love for Japanese kind of culture thing.
Okay.
So because I believe when I was growing up, we went to Bon Odori once when I was really young, and I remember seeing a kokeshi doll in one of the stalls. And
what's the kokeshi doll?
Kokeshi doll is like a wooden doll, a wooden Japanese doll that usually they have like some would say the helmet hairstyle. Okay. The helmet hairstyle.
Okay.
Helmet hairstyle.
And then with the kimono.
And then with the kimono.
Got it.
And so those are kokeshi dolls, and I really like how it looks like. So when I was thinking like, how can I make something that would represent me and like my style kind of thing, that's when I actually had a dream that my father approved the dream. Approved the idea, because I was having this conversation with my community on stream, like how do I do this, how do I do that. And then as I was explaining to them and having a discussion with them, I got the idea of making, those collection dolls, the Pop Mart, the Skull Panda kind of.
Okay.
The Skull Panda kind of collection.
Yes.
So I like to collect those kind of stuff. And I was like, Yana, you can actually do one, but something that represents you. So I was trying to like design stuff like the most basic design lah, to see how they will look like lah. Community loved it. I was still doubting myself, and then that night my father came into my dream. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing or not, but I'm going to take it. And my father gave the green light, the stamp, the chop of approval. He was happy to hear the idea in my dream. Like he was smiling brightly. I was like, okay, I think this is the way. So the next morning I got up and I was like, okay, time to create character designs then. So that's how Nana Bees came about. And nowadays I try to incorporate Nana Bees in most of my stationery. So when it comes to idea churning, I try to follow the trend, but I also try to stand at a general point of view whereby people love like Japanese stuff. They love cats, they love dogs, they love bunnies. So I try to make things like cute, but also very generic, where everyone can like the things that I do.
It's not very specific to a particular culture.
It's not like locked down to one culture.
So it's I like it, very mystical. Father came into your dreams and told you this is a good idea, Nana Bees. You continue. So it's very much Japanese culture with a bit of animal cutesiness into it as well, right? And I like that. You got into this stationery business because you realize that you're a little bit messy and you need that bullet journalism to organize your life. And you're like, if I need something like that, I'm sure other people are like that as well, right?
Like if not a lot of people, a handful of people definitely need it. So why not?
Alright, so how do you approach marketing and selling your products?
I would say I'm probably not the best person for this, but I do all my branding and marketing on Instagram and on my Twitch. Okay. So how I do it is by word of mouth. So I always I try to get people involved in the process of when I'm doing something, and I consider that as marketing. Got it. So you co-create a little bit with your community. People, yes.
That's beautiful, because at the end of the day, again, in whatever you do, right? I really like co-creation because the other person also feels like they have a stake in it. That there is a little bit of ownership on their side. Just to close it, right? What would you say to anyone out there who either wants to start their own, stream on Twitch? What advice would you give them? And what advice would you give someone who also might want to start their own business or, a stationery business? What advice would you give?
For both, the initial thing is find your why. Find your why first. If you know why you're doing something that you want to do, if it's strong enough, it will push you. It will pull you through. It's not going to push you. You have to push yourself, but it will pull you through if your why is strong. So whether it be streaming or you want to start your own business, I would say find your why first.
Like for you, I would think like you were talking about the streaming, your why would be building that community, which then leads to building your brand. And I think for your business, your find your why was you just wanted to get out of that funk. You know, you just wanted to, if I can use the word, I just want to grow up and do something and be something on myself. I'm assuming that was your why, right? Okay, okay.
So if anyone can find their why and can work on it, you have to put time to work on it.
Of course.
Because a lot of people, like either you're studying or either you have a day job, you are going to struggle. You are going to struggle to juggle it. You're going to find it hard to be there for your family, be there for your friends, be there for your work, be there for your whoever else that you need to be there for. You're going to find it hard. So I would say you can sacrifice, but I wouldn't say you should sacrifice. Pick and choose what you can sacrifice, because the things that you're sacrificing, most likely either it was meant to be yours. Like, you know, some friends, like, you get busy with your own hustle, they're like, hey, why are you doing this? Like, you never hang out with us, and then it's so demotivating. So that this is where I'm saying, like, if it's meant to be with you, it will only seem like a sacrifice for that period of time. They will still be there. Yeah. But if they are not meant to be with you, then
so be
they are sacrificed. Yeah, not you.
No, I get it. You know, and it's all about like what you said. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the time. And yeah, you know, if people can't take that part of your life, then maybe they shouldn't be in your life in the first place. All right. I mean, Yana, it's been a real pleasure. I think today we learned a little bit about, you know, how you grew up. We learned a little bit about how you got. Actually, there's a lot of things we covered today. We spoke about the whole cosplay thing. We spoke about the modeling thing, and then how you ended up as a streamer. You know, how you're building your community, how you're building your brand. We also heard a little bit of an inspiring story about how you went through, you know, what you did with your dad's sickness, 2 floods. I mean, a survivor of 2 floods, and you managed to put your chin up. You built your business, and here you are today. You know, not just as a streamer, building your brand of stationery's Absolute Yana. It was a real pleasure to speak to you today. So, before we sign off, how can the listeners and viewers out there, if they want to contact you, watch your streams, or support your stationery business, how can they keep in contact with you?
I would say Google Absolute Yana.
That's the best, you know.
The best
I will put all the tags later, but just Google Absolute Yana.
But I would say the main places that you can actually find me is these 3 places. So if you want to join me with my streaming, you can follow me on Twitch. Goes by the name Absolute Yana. And then if you want to be constantly updated with my lifestyle and stuff like that, I'm on Instagram, also Absolute Yana. And then if you ever want to support the business, or you want to buy or just get to know the brand and the products that I have, you can go to www.absoluteyana.com.
All right, I mean, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. And to everyone out there, here's another episode of Find the Real, where I believe everyone has a story. And thank you for watching and listening. Until the next episode, peace.